Hello Eurovision friends, thank you so much for coming to my channel Eurovision Histories. In this video I will try to predict the qualifiers from semi-final 2. I just saw the first dress rehearsal for semi-final 2, at least parts of it, and I got some impressions I want to share with you. I won't spoil it too much because I want you to enjoy the show. What I can tell you is that the interval act is great. So much to look forward to. Compared to the interval act in the first semi-final, this is so much better. I don't know why the second semi-final is so lucky to get this one. It kind of feels like an interval act for a final, actually, and like they got something better for the final, maybe at the last minute, and then they switched it up. I don't know. Don't want to spread any rumors anyway. I have seen most of the performances. There were some problems with the stream, so I didn't see all of them. Switzerland, for example, I kind of missed, unfortunately. Greece as well. I did see the Netherlands, and I will share a bit about the staging with you there. I will be using something new. Before I had my own graphics. Now I'm trying to do the tier maker thing because it makes it a bit more interactive. And in this semi-final, I was actually sitting there and I wasn't sure what to do, who will qualify, who will not qualify. This is incredibly open. Also because all of the heavy hitters like Sweden is already pre-qualified, Ukraine already in the first semi-final, and this seems way more open. And so let's get right to it. I will look at each of the countries and then put them into one of the tiers. We have Albania. I did see that part of that performance, that rehearsal. It looked a bit undone, not ready yet for the big stage because she hit one of the backing dancers accidentally, or the backing dancer hit her hand, nothing major. She's in a bluish dress. It didn't sound 100%, which kind of surprised me because Besa has been such a great vocalist for all of these pre-parties and everything we have heard of her. And it kind of left me underwhelmed. It also looks a bit empty. The stage looks a bit empty with this performance as well. And so I would say that this is a likely non-qualifier, even though Albania does have a lot of diaspora in the semi-final, which would make me think that maybe yes. And I might change it at the end of the video still. That's why I'm using the tier maker. But we saw with Poland that if the performance isn't 100%, maybe not. And also this is in English. They changed it in the revamp so that all the traditional elements that were there before are not there anymore. And maybe the diaspora just won't go for that also. So I think at the moment it's a likely non-qualifier. Then we have Armenia, Yako by Lada Niva. Very fun performance. There's a lot of interaction between her and the camera. What I do think is a bit problematic with this one is that they put the people that play the instruments on these platforms, and so there's not this group feeling coming along like did with Trenule Tour, where they were all having a party on that stage. Here it seems more that the focus is on her, which is fine because she's very charismatic. But you know, the feeling doesn't really get there, the party feeling that the song kind of wants to evoke, I do think. But I still think that this is a good song. It's a fun performance. People will like this. And I would put this, despite the problems that I see, as a likely qualifier. I had this as a possible televote surprise that a lot of people will go for this. I don't see that much anymore because of the staging. But the song is still quite good, quite repetitive. And there's this call and response with the audience, which will work much better when the arena is full, of course. So I do think that this will qualify, and it's 100% televote. So we have to remember that as well, 100% televote, even though in the first semi-final, the televote did really well and also had some ballads qualify, which is very nice. Then we have Belgium with Musti. The performance is more or less the same as in the music video with the many microphones. He's in a white cape thing that looks a bit strange to me. I don't like that outfit that much, but he takes it off during the performance. And the vocals at the beginning, in the slower part of the song, sound not great. There are some moments where they really sound off and it sounds a bit weird actually. But then when the climax comes, it sounds very good. So I'm a bit worried for Belgium actually because of these vocals. We saw in the first semi-final that bad vocals are a possible reason for non-qualification. Australia and Poland and Australia are out. I think partly because of the vocals. So I'm a bit worried with this one. It also looks a bit too intense sometimes when he looks at the camera, and it kind of is like, whoa, okay. He wants to show the emotion, and he does manage to do that for some of the performance, but not all of the performance, I feel like. I think that the song is good enough to qualify anyway, but I have it only as a likely yes, not anymore as likely or sure, which is a bit surprising to me because I thought that this would do very, very well and could be a potential winner a few months ago, but I don't think that anymore, to be honest, unfortunately. Next up, we have La Suisse. I put La Suisse because Switzerland is a bit too long for my graphic there. I didn't actually see the rehearsal because of technical issues. However, I did see the small recap clip, and in that you can see that Nemo is wearing a slightly different outfit, slightly less out there, which I think is a good idea. The top cape part is now more of a jacket, still has the fringes and is pink, but the puffs around the ankles are also gone, which is a good idea as well. That's something I said, actually, I would do. And all the acrobatics that Nemo does on the turning circle are still very impressive. And the song itself, we should not forget talking about the song and just focusing on the staging because it's a new thing we can talk about. The song is still very good, very experimental. The vocals sounded incredible. Nemo did really well there. And so I would put, La Suisse in the sure tier. I'm quite sure that this will qualify. I cannot see this not qualify. It's second in the odds at the moment. Would be a huge upset if this actually didn't make it. Then we have San Marino, La Repubblica di San Marino, represented by Megara. Quite an interesting performance. They did everything they could with the staging, I do think. There is cool cartoon graphics in the background that really help give this song a visual identity, which I love. The beginning is cool. She looks like a doll on the stage, sitting on the stage, then getting up. I mean, lots of energy, lots of fun comes across as well. And it just has this cartoonish feel now, which I think helps this quite a lot. The vocals were a bit off in some parts, some small parts, and I think the song is not 100% the greatest song to qualify with. Arcadia was much better. However, I will do something for now. I might change this at the end of the video, but I do think that San Marino might actually be qualifying. We might see that I can't actually do that because there aren't 10 spots left. But I thought that for a televote only audience, this was actually a great performance, to be honest. Then Czechia didn't actually see the performance, but it looks like this cube is going down when this fight between people that they added in the revamp happens, and there's this shadow scene on the cube, and then it reveals her and the backing singers and dancers again. So that's a cool moment, and I would actually, in another semifinal, have this qualify. But for now, I think that it might just not be enough, even though I kind of like the song. That's what I mean. This semifinal is very hard to predict because I think there are a lot of arguments for most of the songs why they will qualify. So yeah, this will be very interesting indeed, and I might be quite wrong about a few of these. Estonia, this is actually one of the ones that is kind of borderline for me now, because especially in this recap, it just feels a bit... there is a lot happening, but it's not as oomph as some of the other performances and stagings, I have to say. I do love this color scheme that they have when the fight between the two groups is happening. That adds a lot. I didn't actually see the performance, unfortunately, so I didn't see the rapper starting in the audience. There was no audience either, so that might add a bit of oomph to the whole thing. But for the moment, I'll put this in likely yes, but this might actually have to go to likely no later on because I don't have spots for all of the countries. Then we have Georgia, Nutsa Butsaladze. I love saying this name, probably saying it wrong. Great, great performance. I mean, it kind of is what it is. It is a female bob with male backing dancers and a dance break, but the dance of the backing dancers is so cohesive. I love that. They are together. It doesn't seem like the stage is huge and they are like scattered around the stage like it kind of feels like, for example, with Albania. So I really like that. She sings it amazingly. She has a lot of charisma as well. And the song itself is quite okay. The staging hits completely with the meaning of the song, fits with the meaning of the song, and hits you in that sense as well. So I think that this is a likely qualifier, and Georgia will actually break their non-qualification streak. Then we have Marina Sati and Sari for Greece. I love this song. I have told you this 100 times. If it was up to me, this would be a sure qualifier, and I do think that it is a sure qualifier. I didn't really see the whole rehearsal, but I saw the beginning, the Bollywood beginning, and the screen is a bit smaller and then expands, a bit like Portugal and a bit like me at the moment, actually. She sings it very well. The rest of the performance is basically what we saw in the rehearsal clip, I do think. Lots of flashy images, lots of busy background as well. So this might turn a few people off that are already taken aback by the song itself, because it is such a mix of so many things, which makes me love it. But the staging also adds a bit of, noise to the whole thing, and a bit of disjointedness, maybe even. The one single camera shot is actually very helpful in this, as it takes away a bit of this disjointedness and binds it all together. But in the end, I cannot see this not making it. I'm thinking that this is a sure qualifier, actually, because she's also very charismatic as a performer. This is a big hit in Greece, and there's lots of countries in this semifinal that will also like this kind of music, I'm quite sure. So I think this is a sure qualifier. Then we have Latvia and Dons in his Blue Man Group outfit kind of thing with his circle. He performed this perfectly, perfect vocals. The thing is, and I noticed this in the rehearsal, there is not that much emotion coming across. He's very stoic, singing his song, hitting all the notes. But when you compare it, for example, to Isaac, or to other ballads like Sliman or Yolanda, there's just not that much happening in his face. I think that's just his style of performing, which is fine, but that might hurt him a little bit, I think. And this is televote only, and Latvia doesn't have the greatest track record when it comes to qualifications, so I'm thinking that this one is unfortunately not going to make it. Then we have Malta. This is a female-led pop song with male backing dancers in leather, and the same thing is Austria. So I'm kind of thinking that they might be taking votes away from each other. I also think that Georgia and Nutsa Butsaladze is just doing what they are trying to do a bit better. The plus point I have for Malta is actually this whole acrobatic stuff that a lot of televoters will probably like and will look at and be like, wow, amazing what they are doing. But especially also this 30-second or whatever second clip for the recap that they chose, there's nothing of the song. It's just a dance break. And yeah, I kind of feel like this will not make it in the end. So I'll put this as a likely no, probably even a out, to be honest. Yeah. But still, I can find some arguments for this making it, because televoters are just blown away by the acrobatics. So in the end, I just don't know, is what I'm trying to tell you in this video. Then we have Joost Klein in the Netherlands. There was a big anticipation to see the rehearsal, because a lot of people thought that they were holding back, that there were things that they didn't want to show us yet in the rehearsal clips. Going by this dress rehearsal, it seems like that is not actually the case. There was no real augmented reality. There are a few shots from above where you see the graphics on the floor, and also some game graphics in the background, but it's not like he is immersed into the whole thing. And overall, this seems like a fun performance. This will get a lot of televotes, I'm quite sure. But to me, seeing it the way it is at the moment, it's not a winning performance. I cannot see this win. I cannot see especially the juries go for this. But in the semifinal, we are, of course, with 100% televote. And so I think that this is a surefire qualifier. But I don't think that this is in the winner conversation anymore. 100%. There's lots of fun things happening, a lot of meme-ready stuff, a lot of viral-ready stuff as well. But I don't quite see this winning Eurovision. This emotional part at the end, I was watching it and I knew what was coming and I know the message of the song, but I was still in the dance break, which is amazing. That's a great part of the song, to be honest, and the crowd will go crazy with this. But I was still vibing with the dance break, and then this emotional part, I forgot to look at the subtitles. I know what they say because I've seen it before, but a lot of casual viewers will be a bit, taken aback and might not read the subtitles, and that might be a bit of a problem later on. Then we have Denmark. I only saw a small snippet, and she was off a little bit with the vocals, which for a ballad like this is a bit of a problem. I think I kind of had this as a likely yes before, but because the vocal wasn't 100%, which of course can change in the live show, I would put this as a likely no at the moment. Let me see at the end of the video whether I want to change anything. How many do I have qualifying? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2 more I can put. Oh, and I already see that will be a bit of a problem. Norway, very impactful, great vocals. It sounded a little bit off in some parts, but maybe that's just also the stream might not be as good. And seeing that Ireland and Slovenia both qualified from semi-1, I'm 100% sure that this will qualify. And I actually think, let me order this a little bit as well, that these are the most likely qualifiers. Switzerland, Norway, Netherlands, and Greece, I'm quite sure will all make it. Then we have Israel, Eden Golan. I've said all throughout the season that this is very hard to predict because we don't know what everything happening around the entry will do to its chances to qualify. I think that when it comes to the vocal performance and also the staging, this is quite well done. The vocal performance is very, very good. She did seem a bit uncomfortable in some parts, to be honest, but I think that this will make it because also in Eurovision, you vote for a song, not against a song. And so I'm quite sure that we will see Israel in the final, to be honest. Then we have Austria, last but not least. And kind of you can already see that that means that she will not be able to, or will she 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so either I put Austria as a qualifier or I have to take someone else out. Again, a female-led pop song. She is dressed in silver, and there are male backing dancers in leather pants behind her. Same as Malta. The song is better. The performance is a bit less impactful than Malta's. But I could see both of these not make it, actually, in the end. Okay, I zoomed in a little bit just to see whether I want to change anything. I'm quite happy with the sures. Switzerland, Norway, Netherlands, Greece makes sense to me. Likely Armenia, Georgia, and Israel makes sense to me. Likely, yes. Belgium, San Marino, Estonia. All of these could not make it. Belgium would be kind of a shock non-qualifier, but I can see it not happening, actually. San Marino, I mean, I want this to qualify. I think that's the main reason why it's there. Estonia, it's televote only. I think Estonia will actually be there. Yeah. Austria is such a fan song also. I'm not sure how the general audience will react to this. And I just don't know. I think I'll put Austria in and San Marino out, but I would be very, very happy if San Marino actually made it. I can see Albania make it. I can see Czechia make it. I can see Malta make it. I can see Denmark make it. This is very difficult to predict, honestly. So I'm very interested also to see your opinions about this. Before I let you go, I just realized that I forgot talking about Italy and Spain. Spain is basically the same as in Benidorm. And Italy, I was a bit underwhelmed by this performance because she is back and the backing dancers as well in this tattoo henna-like bodysuit, which I think is a bit too busy. And I also noticed that a lot of the spontaneity that really makes La Noia and makes Angelina is a bit lost in this choreographed performance. She didn't find the camera a lot of the time. It just lost a lot of its impact, very unfortunately. This is my favorite song of the season, so I really would like this to win. But the performance was a bit underwhelming. There's still time to improve that, obviously, until the final especially. But for the moment, it's not the greatest performance and staging I have seen. And it's not a Måneskin-like staging that really elevates everything and makes you think, oh, this is a winner. There are some cool moments with her and the backing dancers, but I'm a bit less sure that this is actually among the contenders anymore. By the way, I will be doing a tier ranking of all the songs in the final, trying to predict who comes top 5, top 10, and so on. So if you haven't yet subscribed, if you don't want to miss that, that's what I was trying to say. And let's leave it at this. I could change it around again, but this is my prediction for semi-final 2. Do let me know in the comments what you think, and then I'll see you for my next video. See you then, and bye-bye.